Hello and welcome back to the Finding Your Feet podcast, a podcast show dedicated to helping you get closer to your true authentic self by helping you find your feet in life. This is episode 52.
Welcome on in, guys. Welcome back to the show. We hope you are all doing well. Today we are talking about a big juicy topic. What is the meaning of life? Passion and purpose. How do you find it? Hustle culture, loads of good stuff. So it's going to be fun. We're excited to contemplate the meaning of life together with you guys today.
Yeah, is there anything more fun than contemplating the meaning of life?
No. TikTok.
We do it every day, so I'm excited to talk about this, especially passion and purpose as well, because it's something I feel like a lot of people get hung up on and there's a lot of pressure around. So it's going to be a fun little chat.
Yeah, we've got some real pearls of wisdom to share with you today on passion and purpose. So I'm sure you're all going to benefit very much from this conversation. We also have some very exciting news, guys. We are hosting the self-love webinar on the 21st of March, 6 p.m. GMT, because I know we've got a few international global finders out there. So yeah, 6 p.m. GMT. So it'll run for 2 hours and it's on Zoom. So you can join us from anywhere in the world if it fits within your time zone. And yeah, the self-love workshop, it's all going to be about everything self-love. So it's all going to be about how to love yourself, what true self-love is, how to infiltrate more of it into your life, how it can help, your life flourish and impact all your other relationships that you have with other people, as well as the relationship with yourself, and make you aware of how you may be self-sabotaging self-love, how self-love links with manifesting, and how if you work on your self-love, you boost your manifesting powers, all that stuff. So yeah, we're going to guide you through so many beautiful things on a gorgeous, lovely community evening, and we're going to do guided meditations. You're going to get affirmation playlists to take away with you, a nice self-love workbook. Like, it's going to be so good. Self-love is one of my favorite things to teach. Like, I just love it so much. Like, we've done so much to learn about self-love, and I can't wait to pass on that knowledge with you guys, because it is truly life-changing. Like, self-love is the key to flourishing in all parts of your life. Self-love drives you to your dreams. So yeah, it's going to be a beautiful night. So you're gonna want to come and join us. You don't want to miss out on this. It's going to be so good. You get your tickets on our website, findingyourfeetpodcast.com. The link is in the show notes. So you need to go on there and get your ticket. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So do come and join us. We've already got quite a lot of people already got their tickets, which is amazing to see. But yeah, come and join in the fun, because it is going to be such a good night.
Yeah, I'm so excited to connect with everyone again. I can already feel the energy from it. It's going to be incredible. And I feel like we're going to talk about so many things that you probably wouldn't even think about. Like, it's going to be very deep, very healing, but also very energy uplifting. I am just so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be fab. I just want to clarify as well, because I know that actually some people get a bit confused about how it works. Like, it's on Zoom, but you come on and you're muted and we can't see you. Like, your camera's off and you never have to put your camera on and you never have to unmute yourself. I think some people think it's literally like a meeting and they need to come with their camera on and that everyone's going to see them and hear them. They're not. Like, you can literally come on and not say a word and just absorb all the information and just chill out. Like, you don't need to. But obviously, if you want to interact with us, there is a chat box that happens throughout the event, and there'll be certain points in it where we will say, does anyone want to share about certain things? Like, when we do a little bit of a Q&A about certain topics, there will be an opportunity for, if you want to, unmute yourself and ask a question. You don't even need to put your camera on to do that. So, as I know that there's some people that are like, how does it work? I'm confused. And they think they're going to come and have to speak in front of loads of people that they don't know. But honestly, you don't. You can just come and lay low and chill and just absorb it all, and not speak and be seen or anything. So yeah, don't worry about that, because I know that a couple of people are like, what?
Yes, but before we get into the episode, we have our Apple Podcast review of the week. This review is from JB1990. He says, fantastic listen. Had a listen when I was down. Has perked me up without being cheesy. I found my feet again. Abby and Grace talk meaningful advice and give great ideas to fulfill your life. Many thanks to the two of them. The shows are very well put together, and you can see the two girls getting more and more confident with the podcast and the structure. Thanks, JB.
Thank you. Love the cheese.
Yeah, we're all for a bit cheese. And it's true as well about the confidence, because actually last night I rewatched my first IGTV video,
Oh my
right?
God, yeah,
And
no.
I honestly look like I've got some like a pole stuck up my arse. Like I look like honest to God, I'm talking very weird.
I don't want to go back and look at them. Sometimes I like remember they're there and I'm like, oh, I bet they're actually really weird.
Yeah, that I look wooden. Like it doesn't I honestly don't think it even looks like me. I'm acting strange.
That's funny. Well, it takes practice to get comfortable in front of the camera. Um, but yeah, I feel like we're there now. So yeah, don't go and look at our old IGTVs now. We've just said that. Let's
Yeah.
go delete them. Yeah, anyway. Thank you for the review anyway. That was really nice. But before we get into today's episode, we just need to let you guys know about the people that make this podcast possible. Our fabulous sponsor, BetterHelp. That's help, HELP. And we are so proud to be partnering up with a company whose mission is to help you start living a happier life from today.
Yes, BetterHelp is a professional online counseling service and they can set you up with a therapist in under 48 hours. They have a huge range of expertise so you can find the right therapist for you. And even if it turns out that you're not too keen on the therapist you're originally paired with, you can actually change for free.
Yes, BetterHelp is a professional, secure online counselling service available for clients all over the world. You can access your account at any time and contact your therapist, and you'll always receive a really quick response. You can easily set up weekly video or phone sessions with your therapist and get the support you need from a professional licensed counsellor from the comfort of your own home. No travelling to your appointments, no awkward waiting rooms. It's not a crisis line. It's completely secure online therapy and just between you and your therapist. And we're still in lockdown in the UK, so getting out and seeing people face to face isn't that easy. So BetterHelp is a great option for the current climate.
Yeah, and it's also way more affordable than your traditional offline counseling. And there are over 1 million people using BetterHelp today. They receive incredible reviews. So if you want to go and check them out, you can head to betterhelp.com/reviews.
And as you all know, because this is something I've discussed openly on the podcast before, I've invested in therapy in my time as a young adult, finding my feet in life. And it's literally been a game changer for me. There is no better investment than in yourself. And it's really, really powerful to get somebody who doesn't know you, that doesn't judge you, that hasn't got any kind of bias on what you say, to hear what you say and help you make sense of what is going through your mind and work through any issues that you might currently have. So if you want to take your mental health to the next level and get the professional support and guidance you need from the comfort of your own home, then BetterHelp is a perfect option. Not only is it so much more affordable than traditional offline counseling, they are also giving our listeners 10% off their first month of therapy. All you need to do is go to the link betterhelp.com/finding your feet. That's betterhelp.com/finding your feet. We'll leave the link in the show notes. Just go to that link, you fill out a questionnaire, and they'll just so that they can get a picture of who you are, what your needs, what you need help with, and then they can match you with the perfect therapist in under 48 hours. And there you go, you can start your therapy journey. But there's literally no shame in therapy. It's just like taking your mind to the gym, and you're so worth investing in to get the support if you need it. But that's all for now. Let's get into today's episode. So we're going to begin our juicy chat today by discussing the meaning of life. That's life's biggest question. Why are we here? What is the meaning of all of this craziness? Why are we on this spinning rock in the middle of the universe? Well, we're here to tell you why.
Yes, exactly. It's something we all ponder on a lot because when you strip back everything, either careers, money, everything, what's left is what? What is the meaning of life? Why are you here? What are your values? What impact do you want to make? So that's why I think everything, passion and purpose, what we're going to talk about today, infiltrates right into the meaning of life. Like, what is the meaning of life for you?
Yeah, I think the meaning of life is to live a meaningful life. And that is up to you what that means, because no one can tell you what it is to live a meaningful life. That is entirely up to you, and everyone will have a very different idea about what what a meaningful life is, and you need to decide for yourself what is your meaningful life, what gives your life your presence, your being, your energetic presence on this spinning rock in the middle of the universe. You decide what makes that meaningful. nobody else. And we're all going to have very different ideas about that.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think it's very easy when you're trying to discover what is my purpose or what kind of lights me up. It's very easy to look at what other people are doing. But it's very true that only you will know what is actually meaningful to you, and everyone's is so different.
Yeah, and it does link so much to your purpose, because your purpose is essentially what gives your life meaning. And I think that we definitely put way too much pressure on figuring out what that purpose is and what the meaning of life is, and get confused sometimes about our purpose and go down the wrong path, chasing the wrong things that do not bring us the fulfillment that a meaningful life gives us. So yeah, it's a big one. It's a big open-ended question, and actually the answer lies within you. You are the only one that can decide that. Like, it's all from your own personal journey and purpose and meaning of life. No one else can tell you what it is. You're the only person that can decide that. So you should be brave and think independently to make up your own mind about what that is, and stay true to yourself, because your meaning of life does not belong to society, parents, friends, colleagues. It's entirely up to you. So you should spend time contemplating this question, because if you can find the answers within, then you will go on the right path.
Yeah, true. And also be willing to change your mind and change your passion, because I think a lot of people think that they just have like one passion, one purpose, and one meaning of life, but it can actually change a lot as you grow up and go through life. So I think be willing to be open to new ideas. Like, you never really know what's around the corner, but that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, like sparking ideas and holding a vision and knowing that you're heading somewhere and that everything will work out.
Yeah. And I think it's so important to have patience with your life. Like, have patience with your journey. I think so many of us, like, especially in the world that we live in now, where, we live in the social media world, and, we have the internet. So society is different how it functions now, and like people that are really young can make a lot of money from a really young age, like through building a career on the internet and stuff, online businesses, all that. Whereas, before the internet, that didn't happen. Like, usually you wouldn't really amass huge amounts of wealth until you were later on in life, because you would have had to build your way up a company, or things are different. We live in a faster paced world now, and we're exposed to that fast-paced life and that quick success at a young age. And because it's put online, and it's really like held highly as like you've won if you're like a really young successful person in business or whatever. People put so much like value on that, and it can make people feel really impatient with their journey, and feel really impatient about the fact that they've not figured out what their like purpose is, or what is that they're meant to do, or they haven't had their big break yet, or whatever. And I think it's just so important to just honor your journey and like have patience with it, because true growth happens authentically with time. Like, you can't rush it. You can't rush growth. You can't rush yourself into becoming the person that you're meant to be. And the person that you're meant to be is what is going to unlock and open all the success that you desire. And you can't rush getting there. You have to just have patience with yourself and your life, and just trust that it's all unfolding as it's meant to, and not like get too stuck into comparing to like other people's timelines and things you might see online. And yeah, just have patience, trust with your journey. True growth happens authentically with time.
Yeah, so true. I think as well, if you are, it's quite easy to focus on the future and wanting to get somewhere. But if you're actually always doing that, then you're actually just missing the present moment, and you're missing all the beautiful things unfold. And as Stephen was saying the other day, Stephen Bartlett's podcast, Diary of a CEO, he was saying how a lot of people, when they get to those like finish lines and they get successful, they actually miss being hungry, and they miss like that day one, that like passion, that drive. So when you actually think about it, that's probably one of the most exciting parts, is actually building
Mm.
something, but it's something we all rush because we're just like, well, if anything, we're actually quite excited to like grow, like achieve this. But yeah, if we focus too much on the future, we're just going to miss the present moment, and we're going to miss all the riches and being hungry and just like the true passion of life and enjoying the moment. So I think, yeah, really important to try and just focus and enjoy every day, and then enjoying every day and enjoying all the passion. That's what's going to help you authentically grow.
Yeah, and literally, if you got given right now in this day who you are now, if you got given on a plate everything that you want, all the goals, all the dreams, all the success, everything that you want that you work towards every single day, if someone just gave you that on a plate right now, you wouldn't be able to deal with it. Like, you wouldn't be able to effectively manage it and handle it. Say that your goal is like a big business goal. Someone then went and gave you that huge company that you so desperately want to own, this big successful company. They came and gave it you. There you go, on a plate. You've got it. Now, the person you are now would not be able to deal with it. They wouldn't be able to, they wouldn't have the experience, the life experience. They wouldn't have grown through all those life experiences to become who they need to be to run that huge business. Like, you have to trust your journey and have patience with it, because it's building you up to that moment of what you want. So when you get it, you'll be ready for it. But if you got it right now, if you want to rush, then you're skipping that authentic, true growth. And when you get it, you won't last, because you aren't ready. You haven't got the skills, you haven't got the experience, you haven't got the wisdom that you would have gained along your journey. So, you've got to remember that as well. And Gary Vee always says, like, he just, he's a big entrepreneur, businessman, hustle guy, and he's always stressing, just enjoy the process. Like, he just loves the process of just building a business and the daily grind and what you're doing and the process of life. He loves that. And he's got his like ultimate goal, his moonshot, to buy the New York Jets, I think. I think it's a basketball team or a football team. I'm not sure. But yeah, to buy basically this sports team. And he's like, when I buy them, it'll be the worst day of my life, because I will have achieved my moonshot and I won't have anything else to work towards, which is what you were saying before. So yeah, it's really important. It's really important not to miss the moment of the day to day, and just enjoy it now and what you're doing now. And because life is like always evolving and changing. So you're never going to have like the exact same day and the exact same experiences. So you need to just enjoy what you have now. I even have to remind myself of that now sometimes when like you get that impatience the podcast needs to grow more, and then I'm like, look, enjoy every day right now, Grace. Stop this. Because I'm sure that when we get older, when we become older adults, maybe we'll get more boring. Fingers crossed we won't. Maybe we'll get more boring and we won't, or maybe, I don't know, like it'll get bigger and we'll have to hire people, and then you've got to be more responsible because you've got people working for you. So and then maybe you can't be as silly all the time, how me and you are now. I don't mean just how we are on the podcast. I mean just how we are in general running of this. We work hard and do it, but we make sure that we have a lot of fun as well on the way. Maybe we'd have to be more responsible, and wouldn't be able to do that, and then we'd look back and miss the times when it was in the early scrappy stages and we were just throwing it together. So you just you gotta just enjoy it, live live it all up. That's the meaning of life.
Yeah, that's true. Because like we were saying, if you can't enjoy the present moment, then actually it doesn't matter that when you get to that goal or achieve it, it won't matter anyway. If you're not happy in the present moment, then none of it's going to mean anything. So that's why it relates back to the meaning of life so thoroughly, because you have to establish what is the meaning of life to you, like what actually makes you happy. And that's what you've got to coincide your purpose with, because you don't want to get to that goal, to that finish line, or to your moonshot, and then be like waiting for this like void to be filled, and it's never filled because you're not actually happy from within. But I think if you work on filling that happiness every day, like now this part of the podcast, we love doing it. We love every day. We meditate every day to bring ourselves into the present moment, to enjoy life. So then when all those amazing things come, they'll be amazing and exciting, but we've already got the happiness within us. I think that's something I think a lot of people miss, and it's very easy to miss as we're kind of not forced, but we're influenced to like have very high goals and always search for something outside of ourselves. But like, I mean, the meaning of life for me certainly is actually being happy from within. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what happens, because there's no point achieving something if you're not going to be happy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you never cultivate that happiness from within, then even when you get to your big life goal, it will not feel that great. Like you will be disappointed because you'll think that it's going to give you everything that you want, and it won't. Because the only thing that can give you everything that you want is just to give it yourself right now in the present moment and just give yourself happiness now. Like you don't need to wait. There's no like benchmark that you have to get to receive it and achieve it. You feel the happiness now, and then when you do reach your big milestone and your life goals, they feel really sweet because you worked for it, you enjoyed the journey, enjoyed the process, you were patient with it, and then when it comes, it feels better, it feels sweeter than it would if you were like, I will not be happy until I do this, because then when you get that, it will not make you happy, because nothing can make you happy other than yourself inwards. You have to decide that within you, that if you to be happy, it comes from nothing but you. No material things, no achievements, no physical material belongings, experiences, whatever. That doesn't bring it. Like you have to bring it from within. But if you get it from within, then when you do get those things, it'll feel even sweeter. I think it's really important as well to like value the small steps in life to get there. Like, like value those marginal gains, like 1% better every day. People underestimate their small steps, their small wins, their small progress in life, because people are always celebrating like huge progress and huge wins. But the only way you get to that huge progress and wins that people celebrate is through the small ones. You should, feel proud of yourself every day that you are moving forwards and working towards something. That's part of enjoying the journey as well, sitting back and taking a minute to like see how far you've come, rather than thinking, I've still got this much further to go, and looking at that, because that's more of like a lack mindset as well, which isn't a good mindset to have. Whereas if you're like, you're appreciating your small wins and your small steps, and you're showing up every day, your marginal gains to get to where you want to be, then you will feel more abundant as well, because you'll be like, wow, look at how far I've come. I can go so much. I like, you trust yourself more because you feel more confident, because you're like, oh, I've done this, so I can now go even further, rather than always looking at what's ahead and then never giving yourself credit for what you've already done, and constantly thinking that you need to be better and do more and whatever. Like, it's just that, again, it's just like sucking the happiness, the fun, the enjoyment of the journey and like the day-to-day of life, which is what gives your life meaning. Like, you could give your life meaning of like, as in, you experience negativity and lack and comparison and doubt all the time. If you're always looking ahead at what you need to do, sometimes you do have to just stop and just take it all in and be like, wow, look what I've done.
No, exactly. That, like with the small steps, marginal gains, there's a concept in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, and it's basically like I think he calls it the 2-minute rule, and it means showing up for yourself every single day. So say if you're starting a new habit, he says the actual importance of showing up for the habit is more important than what you actually do, because it's reinforcing this belief in you, like, I can really do this and I am dedicating myself to this habit. So like if you want to go on a walk every day, but some days you really don't want to go out your house and go on a 2-minute walk. And that is actually way more beneficial than not going on the walk, even if it's just 2 minutes. And I think you have to think about that when it comes to kind of working towards a goal. Like think about the small little steps and thinking about showing up for yourself every single day. And also what you were saying about when we were talking about kind of putting like your worth on a goal. I think that's why a lot of people, like successful people, they'll have like get a lot of money, they'll be like really successful, quote unquote, and then they always say that it never had the answer. They end up feeling depressed. And then I think that's where, like, when you actually think about it, that's why a lot of people, I think, fear money and or subconsciously fear success, because you see all these people like saying, oh, well, they didn't have the answer. But it's not so much that they didn't have the answer. It's just that they didn't have the right mindset to kind of acquire all that success. And I'm not saying like I do, like that's something I think everyone has to work on every day, is getting to the point where you don't end up feeling depressed because you know that you've got your worth within you. But yeah, when I was just thinking about it, then I thought that probably is something why people fear money and stuff, because you think, well, most people say that money doesn't bring you happiness, but that's not the right way to look at it. If you've got your mindset intact, then you can transform everything. Like, mindset is the start of everything: money, success, happiness, everything. As long as you've got the right mindset, you can do anything.
Yeah, definitely. And we like really unconsciously like self-sabotage us achieving success because we are scared of it. And that sounds really weird. Why would someone be scared of success? But you also might be subconsciously scared that because you're placing all this worth and happiness on that end goal, that when you get it, it won't give you what you want. It won't give you that happiness and fulfillment that you want. And also, you're scared that when you do get it, it won't last and you'll be back to where you feel now, where you feel unhappy and searching outside of yourself all the time for like fulfillment, validation, instead of just getting it from within. So you have to, it starts by just getting it from within, and then you avoid like those traps that I think so many people fall into in life, and waiting for this to happen to be happy, and also like subconsciously self-sabotaging yourself and pushing it all away because you deep down are scared of success because it might not bring you the happiness you want, or if it does, it won't last, and you really subconsciously sabotage yourself. And it's quite a hard concept to get around, and you a little bit of a difficult pill to swallow because you'll be like, why would I do that to myself? But it's like your brain is just trying to keep you safe. Like, it's so like, subconscious, deep rooted, not in your conscious mind, logical mind to think about doing this. Like, you don't pre-plan to do it. It's just your brain's way of trying to keep you safe because your brain wants to keep you in what's familiar, and what might be familiar for you is unhappiness and not feeling like you're achieving your goals and going after what you want and living a meaningful life. So you might be so familiar in not doing that then you like self-sabotage yourself to just stay in that because that's familiar. But just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's necessarily good for you.
Another one as well, just while we talk about that, because I think it's very good for the listeners to reflect on this, because these are the kind of things that really get me thinking. But another one on success is like, if when you were growing up, or kind of like money, if your parents kind of like put rich people like on another world, like put them apart from you, then you probably have like got a subconscious belief that people can't relate to you. So you might subconsciously sabotage your success because you're scared that the people that you grew up with in your family or team, that they're not going to relate to you. Like, I've heard that a few times lately, and I'm like, wow, like that. You think you're like, it's just weird how much your child and everything can affect you, because I feel like that's a huge thing, like putting a massive distance between like, oh, they're rich, they're not, da da da. But yeah, when you actually think about it, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, like you can literally fear success because you're scared that if you become successful, people won't like you and they will not want to be around you and not be your friends, and that you'll lose people. But, that's not necessarily true. That's not fact. And anybody that does decide they don't like you because you've followed your dreams and, made it happen is not somebody you want to have in your life anyway. And like the good people would never, drop you because of that. If anything, like they will want to like relish in your success and happiness, like, and enjoy it with you. So it's weird how your brain like does all this stuff to like protect you, but it's so like literally you just shoot yourself in the foot with it, and you can be so unaware that you're even doing it. So it's a very important thing to like be aware of and think about.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was listening to another I'm sorry, there's loads of podcast drops in this one, because I feel like we've been listening to so many podcasts lately, but all these little nuggets of wisdom are staying in my head. But I was listening to one the other day, The Happy Place with Rhonda Byrne, and she was literally saying that all our thoughts and everything from the mind, from the ego, they're not true. Like, at the actual core essence of us, we are just like one, we're love, we're happiness. And when she said that, I was like, that actually makes sense, because like when you have all these like negative thoughts, like the more you remind yourself, like, they're actually not true. Like, any negative thought you have, any thought when you're trying to hold yourself back, any imposter syndrome, they're not true. They're not true. Your core is like happiness, love, confidence, like everything you want to be. So I think when you remind yourself that, it helps you just like deteriorate the thoughts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And just not like attach yourself to them and literally believe they're fact. Because most of the time, like when you have your mind's going off, you do think that everything it says is is true. And she said, I listened to that podcast as well, it's very interesting. And she said in it that like people think like your mind is like your therapist, like your counselor or whatever, like you talk to it and everything it says is true and you should like listen to it. But she was saying your mind isn't, that's not what it's for. Your mind is just a tool, it's a creation tool, and like you control it, you drive your mind to think all the thoughts that you want to have, and that's what's going to come into your life. So like, you know, like the law of attraction stuff, because it's true, like you know, if you do believe, if you do subconsciously fear success, then you'll repel it away from you. And so if you're taking control of your mind, your belief systems and your thoughts and everything that's going on, then you can generate different thoughts that are going to literally draw in different things, like better things, the high vibrational things, the real success and everything that you actually want. You're going to bring that into your realm. It starts with the mind. And we stand in our own way a lot through like just not understanding how that works.
Yeah, for sure. Like we always think that other people are our competitors, but actually it's just us and our imposter syndrome standing in the way. I also heard something this week saying that like imposter syndrome is good. Like if you're listening to this and you're thinking, God, I always stand in my own way and I feel like I'm not worthy of things, stuff like that. A lot of people have that and that's very natural, but the important thing is that you learn on working through your limiting beliefs and knowing that imposter syndrome is very natural. Like it's just a part of stepping out of your comfort zone, so it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So feeling like you don't deserve something, it doesn't mean you're a bad person and you have really like low self-esteem or anything. It just means you're human, but it's very important to become aware of that and know that that's just your mind playing tricks and you can actually achieve anything you want.
Yeah, because even like the people that you look up to that are like big players in whatever you know, people you admire that have done things that you'd love to do, you know, those expanders in your life, the people that show you what's possible, that expand your mind, expand your vision for what you could do in this world, like even they get imposter syndrome. Like it still happens even when you're up at a really high level. Like it is just something that we all feel, but it's just about like just pushing through it regardless and not letting it hold you back, because you only let yourself down at the end of the day. Like you're your own worst enemy when it comes to things like that. Like nobody else is getting in the way of your growth. Like as much as you might want to put the blame on other people, it isn't anybody else's fault. It's entirely down to you. And when you take that radical responsibility for your life and your mindset and your belief systems and why your life is the way it is right now, you might not like it. You might not like the circumstances of your life. But if you take ownership of it, then that's the first step to creating the life that you want and becoming the controller and the creator of your life, rather than just letting life happen to you. Because life will pass you by really, really quickly. And you can either let it pass you by and let life happen to you and let somebody else decide for you what your life is going to be, or you can flip it and put step into the control pants. I don't know why control pants. You could just step into the control pants and make your life what you want it to be before somebody else like gives you your life. You know, you can decide for yourself what you want it to be. So I feel like we've gone on a big random tangent there off the meaning of life. So we're just going to bring it back now to purpose. And what is your purpose? Everyone talks about it all the time and puts so much pressure on figuring out what it is. And it is very important, very, very important thing to figure out, because it's what gives you reason to get up every day. Like you need it. You need it to give you that drive, like to go and get it in life and have a reason to be getting up every day. But purpose, people I think can get really mixed up with what it is. But purpose is not static. It's dynamic. So it's not a one linear thing. It's not a boxed up thing. It's not a clear thing. Like I think your purpose is an overarching like calling that you've got that isn't necessarily, it's very, could fit into anything. Like it's like a, how to explain this. Your purpose is like this one big overarching umbrella of your life that gives meaning to your life. And the reason, the way you figure out what that is through like getting still and listening to your inner knowing, because that is where you find the answer to what your purpose is. I don't think your purpose is in one specific job, in one specific thing of doing. I think it's a big overarching sort of life meaning that we all have different ones, we all have individual ones, and from that you then can fulfill that purpose through different jobs, through different projects, through different ways of living that will fulfill that meaning. I think that everybody's purpose is quite vague, and you get to experience it and feel the fulfillment of it through many different things. That's what I mean when it's not static, it's dynamic. So it can shift and move into so many different ways of existing. It's not just one thing. So like if you feel like your purpose is to be a lawyer and to do the law, it's probably not just to be a lawyer, but within that role of being a lawyer, that is tapping into your overarching purpose. But so you could actually flip and, if you stopped enjoying law and go and do something else, it's not that you've lost your purpose. It's just that your purpose is now manifesting into a different outlet. And I think people get too hung up on what exactly it is and how it should look and how it should be and how linear it should be and all that. And that's when you just trip yourself up and get scared to try anything and chase anything, because you're like, oh, but is this my purpose? And just think about it too much. It's not something to overthink. It's something to be still and listen to your intuition, your inner knowing, and allow it to tell you what it is. And then hold that in your mind and know that that is what you're here to do. And then let life manifest experiences and jobs and opportunities and projects for you where you can live out that meaning and that purpose, because we've all got such an individual purpose. Like the fact that you are born, the fact that the sperm and the egg that created you met when they did, is like literally like 0.0000000% chance of that it happened. Like it's such a slim chance that you are here as you are right now. Like there's so many different variables that could so easily have been different that would mean that you weren't here, like whether your mum and dad even met, like all things like that. So the fact you even have a life means you have a purpose. We all have something here to do, but I think people overthink too much what it is. And actually it's just a big overarching thing. And you can experience the fulfillment of living out your purpose through many different avenues and outlets. And it's not a linear, singular thing. And you have to be open to that, understand that, and let life flow and happen, because life manifests and unfolds exactly as it is meant to for you, for your highest good, because you are here for a reason, and the universe wants you to live out that purpose. It wants you to do what fulfills you and what you are meant to do. Otherwise, it wouldn't have put you here in the first place. So you kind of just have to not think about it too much and just let it happen.
Yeah, I feel like you have to release control, because like you said, the universe wants you to feel good and it wants you to follow your purpose so you do feel good. But I think as well, the reason why people feel a lot of pressure to find their purpose is because it is such an important part of us. It's like our most instinctual thing. Like even if in say relationship or even like within a family, if you're not providing and you feel like you've got no purpose, that will it really knocks you off. Like you kind of have to feel like you have a purpose. So that's why I think a lot of people kind of chase like, oh my God, what is my purpose? Is it outside of me? Is it a job or a career? But I think the most important part is slowing down and connecting with your inner knowing to find your purpose, and also dropping the ego, because I think you can kind of like chase a purpose and a passion out of the ego, which is fine because I feel like a lot of people do it. But like we said, I think that's where you risk getting to a goal and then getting there not feeling fulfilled, because you've actually done it out of your ego and what would just look good and kind of like what's like flashy and stuff like that. Whereas I think if you connect with your inner knowing, most likely it's going to lead you there anyway, but at least you're going to like feel fulfilled and feel really happy. But no, I do think that's really important. Like it's like the opposite of what people think. I think when people hear like find your purpose, you think, oh, what's my purpose? What's my passion? It's like something that like ignites you, but it's actually important to slow down and tune into yourself to know like where do you actually want to go and what purpose do you want to fulfill. Hi guys, just interrupting the episode to bring you our new sponsor, Skillshare. We are always talking about the importance of educating yourself, learning new skills, and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. That's why we're really excited to bring this platform to you.
Yes, Skillshare is an online learning community with meaning. Their aim is to deliver effective courses which are super accessible and easy to use. They offer a range of creative courses such as graphic design, photography, and fine art. And as well as creative courses, they also have some business courses such as business analytics, entrepreneurship, and marketing. There is something for everyone, and we are both currently making our way through the courses and absolutely loving them.
Yes, we are always saying that knowledge is power, and investing in yourself is one of the most valuable things you will ever do. And they literally have everything. They have over 27,000 courses, and they even have things like languages. Like I'm doing a Turkish one at the minute. I can't remember if I told you, Grace, but I'm actually really enjoying it. And the best part is Skillshare have kindly given our listeners a 2-week free trial. And then after that, it's just £14 per month to unlimited access. So that's all the courses. And you can also cancel at any time. So if you do want to cancel before your trial ends, you're more than welcome.
The best thing about Skillshare is that their courses are not super long, which you have to dedicate yourself to. Some of the courses are just 1 or 2 hours long. Think about how many courses you could complete in just 2 weeks on your free trial without even having to spend any money. It's a no-brainer, guys. You can literally learn so much from these Skillshare courses. So if you want to learn a range of new skills, start a new hobby, or study to grow your own business without the heavy price tag, then head to skillshare.eqcm.net/finding your feet. That's a big old link that we've left in the show notes. You can just scroll down and click in there and you'll get taken through to your free trial. But that's all for now. Let's get on with the episode. Yes, so we're going to share with you what our purpose is because I think that it will just make it make sense to you if you hear a clear example. So my purpose, my existence, my point of existence on this planet. No, I'm joking. It's not that. It's not that deep, guys. I've always heard this little whisper. So, you know, the whispers of the universe. We always say that. You hear these little whispers, this little voice, this little inner knowing, this little thing, this little whisper speaks to you. And it's not you. It's not your ego. It's not the mind. It's your intuition. It's like the universe. It's something else. And you hear that in moments of stillness. And basically, I have always heard this little voice that said that my purpose was to facilitate a space on earth for people to thrive and feel great. Okay. And I've always heard that. And it's purely a whisper from the universe. And I've never then overthought, like, oh, how do I do that then? It just manifests and happens like that, because in your purpose you find joy. Like I find joy out of everybody that listens to this podcast and feels uplifted and feels great afterwards. I find joy in that. I find joy in everyone coming to our webinars and our workshops and feeling like they've learned something and built a better mindset and feel more amazing and empowered about themselves and more in control of their life. That gives me meaning. So, but that overarching thing of like purpose of to facilitate space for people to thrive and feel good can manifest into so many different things in my life. And I think that how you live out your purpose is when you match it up with your passions. So everybody is passionate about something. Everybody has passions. Everyone has things that they like. Everyone has interests. And I think a lot of people hold that really limiting belief that you can't make money from your passion and that you can't, what you do for work and that you have to spend most of your time doing, that it can't be something you're passionate about because you can't make money at that. And it has to be something boring and rubbish. And that is not true, like literally not true. And I'm just really glad that I've never had that belief. Like I've always had the complete opposite belief that of course I'd do a job that I'm passionate about and that I love, that's linked to something that I like. Otherwise, why would I do that? Like, so I've never had that limiting belief, but I know that it's a very common limiting belief that holds a lot of people back from finding life fulfilling, because just purely from that belief, just blocking them. But I think that you fulfill your overarching purpose, that if you get still and listen to your intuition, it'll tell you exactly what it is. It's literally there. You just need to listen and you'll get it. And your passions are how you fulfill that. That's how you live it out. So like I've got a passion for, always have, for like businesses, growing businesses, entrepreneurship. I always used to work for like small startups and stuff when I was younger for free, and always used to listen to Gary Vee and things like that because I just found that process so fascinating. That's something I'm passionate about. I'm very passionate about fashion. That's what my early career was in. Fashion and business go very well together. So that's something that I am also driven to follow and to like basically, set up my own business. A big why behind that as well was because I would want to grow a business to a huge point where it's like, so it sustains itself and it can hire lots of people, because I would love to be able to give people an amazing working experience, because I know that like that, there's a lot of corporate companies out there that are just an absolute nightmare to work for, that are just riddled with toxic work culture for just no reason at all, like just because they've been run by like weird people for years and years and years, and like this toxic weird culture just runs through it. There's so many businesses and workplaces like that. My overarching purpose of feeling like I wanted to facilitate space for people to thrive and feel amazing, I always could envision like, I'd love to have my own business and then hire lots of people, and then I want to have an in-house meditation teacher and all this stuff, like so that people meditate when they come into work in the morning and they can feel they have autonomy over their lives, like they can work in an empowered way and not have any of that like nasty toxic corporate culture that not all companies but a lot of places have. That's how I'll fulfill out my purpose. That's fulfilling it out through one of my passions. This podcast was never in a life plan, it just happened, but that fully fulfills out my meaning and my purpose, because everybody listens to this and feels great after. So done, like tick, fulfilling, feel meaning from what I'm doing. And that's how I think you just need to, that's how you figure out what your purpose is. You listen to your intuition, you find out what its whisper is. Don't overthink the whisper. Look at what you like in your life, what you enjoy. You can make a living off what you enjoy. You can do something to make it, to include something in your life that lights you up, whether it is your job or not, or just you make more time for things that you enjoy, that make you feel fulfilled, purposeful, and like there's meaning to your life. You live all of that out through your passions. So I hate when people scare people away from following their passion and stuff, and that it's not practical and it's not sustainable and you can't do it, because you absolutely can. And that's what you should do. That's your soul's purpose, is to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like as well, if you hold a purpose and a direction, and the universe makes a way all the way, all the way.
Yeah. It literally, it wants you to do what you want to do. The universe wants you to live out your purpose. Like, it will support you in that. It will manifest the perfect opportunities for you to do that. All you have to do is just surrender to the journey, enjoy it, and be open to new opportunities, say yes to them, and not be scared, not be too logical about it and think, what's this going to be like? Oh, would this even make me any money? And well, how will I be able to do this? And you just have to go with it. Sorry, I just totally hijacked your point there.
No, it's fine. I was tripping over my word anyway. But I was just saying that, yeah, the sense of direction, and yeah, the way it most resonates with me is that I think, like I said, it's very important to know what, I would say best describe it in the terms of like knowing what legacy you want to create. If you have a direction and a vision, everything else will fall into place, because like you just said, you have your amazing vision, which I was just going to say, actually, there is no way in hell this will not manifest, because we're literally putting it out to the universe so
I'm
loud and
telling it to all
proud.
you guys now.
Yeah, like it's already happened. But yeah, so like the way I see it is, I always had a vision that I want to impact lives in a positive way. And I want to, yeah, like change people's lives, get them thinking differently. And I remember at the start of 2020, and when I wrote in my journal that this year, well, meaning last year, I was like, this year I will start something to do with like self-development. I was like, because it was like itching away at me, but I didn't sit there and think, but what am I going to start? Like, how am I going to start it? Like, is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? Is it going to be a business? I didn't worry about any of that. I just knew that something was going to start and I was going to have a vision. And then obviously we started this podcast and it all fell into place. But the important part was that I didn't stress too much, because I think you can kind of overthink it. So I think the best way, well, which certainly works for me, is holding a vision and thinking, what legacy do I actually want to create? Like, when I leave this world, what impact do I want to have made? And when you think
Mm.
about that, you're always going to be led to the right places.
Yeah. I think, yeah, definitely thinking about the legacy you want to leave is a really good thing to think about. Like, Gary Vee, I remember, all he still says it now, but like when I was younger, always used to say this, and it's kind of when you get a bit older that then it sinks in and makes more sense. But he always used to say, like, don't just do things to chase money and stuff like that. Like, he says that he lives his life, um, and like makes his life choices and everything based on how many people are going to turn up to his funeral. So how many lives is he going to impact? Like, he gives a lot of time to other people, like giving them advice. Like, a lot of his followers and stuff, he spends time like doing video calls and things like that with people in his audience, so that he can give them business advice. He gets no money from that. Like, obviously, like, it's content that gets then put on the internet, but there's no like money exchanged in that. And he's like a huge business guy that's got a lot of things to be getting on with, but he makes time for that because what's important to him is how many people are going to turn up at his funeral. And that is how he adds meaning to his life. And that's what he feels his purpose is. Obviously, he loves business. He loves entrepreneurship. He loves the hustle. He loves the journey. He loves the process. He loves all of that. That's why when he buys the New York Jets, it'll be the worst day of his life, because then he's met his moonshot goal. But what drives his day-to-day decisions and gives his life so much meaning, and he just plays it out through his like entrepreneur life of being able to give people advice and give back in that way, is driven by that desire and that importance put on how many people are going to turn up to my funeral. And I think a lot of people don't think about life in that way, and we put a lot of value on like, oh, how much money have you got, how many likes have you got on your social media, how many followers have you got, how cool are you, like, or whatever, like, you know, how I don't know, like, what's in your wardrobe and what parties are you at, like all things like that. But at the end of the day, when you pass away, like, that's not going to leave a mark on anything. You can get caught up chasing the wrong kind of purpose and like just chasing the wrong things that are not going to fulfill us now in the moment, and they're not going to leave anything behind. And I think, yeah, but I don't mean for anyone to listen to this either and think, oh my God, right, okay, oh God, I feel so bad because I'm not thinking about that, and I'm not thinking that I need to change the world. It's not that. Like, you can create a legacy within your own family, within your own home, with how your children feel about you, like all things like that. You know, it doesn't have to be like, I know that we're comparing it to Gary Vee there, but and he's like everyone knows who he is, big guy, but you don't have to live your life like that. Like, your legacy and your purpose can be lived out in however you want. Like, there's no one to decide how big or small that is. Like, that's entirely your decision. So never feel like, as we're up here like gassing up changing the world and all that stuff, like, you can change the world within your own world, at home or within your circle. Like, it doesn't need to literally be like every single person on the planet, but that still means that you've lived an incredible, meaningful, purposeful, important life, because you've touched other people and you've like made an impact in however way that is important to you. And no one can decide that other than yourself. It's up to you to decide what that is and how that like manifests and how you want to experience that feeling.
Yeah, I think that's why you have to establish what is the meaning of life to you before you kind of like go into your purpose and passion. Because, like, for example, Gary Vee, his meaning of life was to impact other people, so he knows to take the time because that's going to fulfill him. Whereas somebody else, that might not even be that important to them. Like,
No,
everyone's meaning of life is
exactly.
so different. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think learning your own first is really important.
I think there's a really clear difference between like a societal purpose and what like society makes you feel should be your purpose versus what like your soul purpose is. And I think that a lot of people fall into that societal purpose trap of that, it means to get a job, buy a house, and do that classic life blueprint. That's your purpose, and that's what's going to fulfill you. When it might not. But a lot of people don't even take the time to even stop and consider, this blueprint that I'm being fed, is this mine, or is this somebody else's? And to just take the time to assess and think, well, what do I want? And they like just blindly go through life and like maybe and wind up in jobs that they don't like, or with mortgages in an area that they don't even want to be in, because actually they wanted to live abroad in another country and things like that, but they never like followed it and never took the time to like ask themselves what they actually want. And you because we're fed so much that like, you know, classic, get a job, get a good job, good salary, buy a house, that will make you happy and feel secure and like you've completed life and like, yeah, that's what you meant to do. So people chase that, and then you can end up, it like perpetuates into that like hustle culture thing where you can end up working and grinding and chasing this career that actually is not even important for you, because you're chasing that purpose, but you're chasing it based on what somebody else has told you is your purpose. Or it could even be like, you know, a lot of people like grow up where their parents expect them to have a certain type of job. Maybe like there's been a certain type of career that's like been passed down your family, like that, or like your parents, your grandparents there, and your great grandparents, that they all did this certain type of career, and then it comes to you and actually you don't want to do that, and but you do it anyway. Like that's like, just again, it's somebody else is picking your purpose for you, and you end up chasing the wrong things and end up really unhappy, unfulfilled, and like burn out, because there's nothing more easy to burn yourself out than by grinding and hustling and falling into that hustle culture trap and chasing a career that actually you don't even care about and doesn't fulfill you, but it looks good and people say it's good and they congratulate you for it and applaud you for it, because in terms of the blueprint of life and like society, that you've won, it's success. But that's not your version of success, that's not your version of winning, and it doesn't feel good for you. But you have to, so you do have to be brave and to distinguish between the purpose society gives you and the purpose that your soul gives you, and be brave enough to just follow the soul purpose, even if it looks crazy to other people, because that is the meaning of life as well.
Yeah, the sole purpose, I think, is what is going to actually fulfill you. Because, like you said, sometimes, especially, I feel like it comes a lot from like parents or even just your conditioning growing up. Like whatever you see on the TV, whatever you get in media, you think that's like the true meaning of life. But I think a lot of the time people are just ticking boxes like, oh, I've done that, I've got a house, I've done that. But if it's actually not fulfilling you, if that's not your soul's purpose, then at the end of the day, like I always come back to this, at the end of the day, once you achieve that, you're not going to feel happy anyway. So there's like actually zero point in doing that, because if you're not going to be happy, then it doesn't matter. Like I honestly think if you can give away yourself so much to other people, like I've just said, my legacy is I want to impact people. But if I'm not actually going to be happy in the process of doing that, then actually what is the point? And I don't care if that sounds selfish, because that is my honest truth. Like if I'm going to be miserable while I'm giving myself away to other people, then there's literally no point, because you have to fill up your own cup before you give to other people anyway. But yeah, you have to follow your soul's purpose, because what's the point ending up there and not even being happy? And I think as well with like when people go after different careers, I feel like there's this like narrative of hard work equals success. So people will like
Yeah.
throw themselves into jobs where they're like struggling or they don't feel worthy, they don't feel like they're being respected, and they'll just think, oh, but hard work equals success. I have to work hard, I have to grind nonstop to get where I want to be. But I literally couldn't agree less with that. Like I think there's no point in like, I think you have to obviously work really hard in life, but I think if you work hard at the things that mean a lot to you, your soul's purpose and what you're passionate about, then you'll actually receive the rewards so much quicker as well. Whereas sometimes if you're just on the
Yeah.
hamster wheel in some job that you're not even being valued in, that is not your soul's purpose, you're just doing it like for money, for example, the money is probably going to take a good while to come. You're not even going to be enjoying the moment because you're thinking too forward ahead. So you honestly, like, the more you get aligned, the more things will come to you. And I think things will naturally gravitate towards you, like money, success. It all means so much more if you're aligned with your soul's purpose.
Absolutely. Energy and how you feel in terms of alignment is so important. It's so underrated. People don't consider it enough. And that's why, like, you know, people do speak about it, even in like, say like you run a small business, online business, you have to show up for your business every day to be able to sell your products. If you're grinding, hustling, working so hard that you're burning yourself into the ground, you haven't got the energy to get online, get on social media, put posts out and sell your product. And your energy is actually really closely linked to your sales and that attracting in the money and the success and the all of that stuff. You block it when you are like energetically down. So that idea of hustle culture, of if you're sat at your computer for 15 hours a day grinding, then that's good and you're going to get everything you deserve because you're just working so hard. It's not true. Like, there's an element of truth in it, and that yes, of course you have to work hard. You have to be focused, and you have to be willing to do things outside your comfort zone to make it happen for what you want in life. But you have to protect your energy along the way as well, and you have to make sure that you're aligned with what you're doing, because if you're not, you will block everything from you. Like, and energy is everything, and it's so underestimated all the time. And I think when you take the time to learn more about the law of attraction, stuff like that, it starts to make more sense to you. But just like an example for us, so like the podcast, and we spoke about this in the intuition episode, we both were working full time alongside starting our podcast at first. So for 6 months, the growth stayed exactly the same. Month on month, downloads were exactly the same. We didn't know any difference. We thought it was like normal. Oh, not normal, but we just were like grateful for that anyway. But what happened was we were unaware of how much your energy affects how many people listen to your podcast, etc., things like that, buy your product, whatever it is that you're doing. We underestimate that, but we realized the real power in it, because in November was the first month that we both had stopped working full time and were instead focused full time on the podcast, and literally like the download numbers, I think, times by 4 on the previous month, and then kept going and going and going, and every month since. And it's all to do with energy. Like, we fully united our energies together with what we were doing, and we were in a much different place. We weren't in any kind of like job that was like draining our energy or pulling us down that we were in before. And the results came like that, like literally like that. And people underestimate that, and they think that they're scared to surrender as well, and to allow themselves to rest and to just be and be in an abundant mindset. They're scared to let themselves be there, because they think, no, that's not how I'm going to get it. Like, if I'm grinding all the time, then it will come, like success will come. But even if the success doesn't come, if I'm grinding all the time, then I know that I've done everything that I could to make it happen. Like, you have that sort of like, it's the same with like another good example of this is like time management. Like, you might have like you procrastinate like doing a piece of work right until the final deadline, not because you need the pressure, like you want to work under pressure, but partly because if you leave it to close to the deadline to do it, you're kind of like it's a self-preservation technique. Like, you're protecting yourself. So whatever result you get, if you start it only a couple of days before your piece of work is due or anything, then the outcome of it, if it's not actually good, if you don't get a good response, or you don't sell your product, or you get a bad mark, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, if you get an average response or a bad response, you can then just think, oh, it's okay. It's not me. It's not because of something I've actually done. It's because I didn't give myself enough time to work on it. And if I had more time, then I definitely would have done it better. But like, I definitely would have got a better result. Like, I definitely would have sold more, or got a better result, or whatever. So you kind of like, and you become very unaware that you do things like this. And I really hope that doesn't sound confusing, because I feel like that might have all sound quite confusing. But energy, alignment, and rest and balance is really, really, really important with drawing in and being a magnet to success and what you want and growth.
Yeah, for sure. Like, literally, when we both left our jobs and we like came together, you literally felt the energy shift. Because I feel like, like we always say, energy goes where attention flows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah, that was right.
Yeah. And it's very true, because we were projecting all our energy into that. We had less distractions, less things drain our energy, and it did really flourish. So I think as well, that's like an eye opener. If you've always like tried to do something, or you're trying to manifest something, like, we're getting quite deep now, but if you're like trying to manifest something and you feel like it's not quite working for you, it's probably because there's some kind of energy that's off. Maybe it's not in alignment with you, or maybe somebody or something it's draining your energy. Energy is just so contagious. And I think that is as well a huge pill to swallow, because then you have to fully take responsibility for who you're being around, everything you consume, everything that comes along with energy. But yeah, I'll say it's probably the main thing for succeeding and watching things flourish.
Yeah. And people that are really buying into that like hustle culture don't want to hear that either, because it's like you're disregarding their work level by saying that it's all about energy and manifesting and joy in, and they disregard that whole concept because it doesn't align with what they believe. But actually, like, the more you're hustling and if from like a needy place, as in, if I do this, if I overexert myself, if I overwork myself, if I give everything to the point where I'm so burnt out that I'm not even producing anything high quality anymore, if I push myself to that extreme level, then like that is coming from a needy vibration. It's like desperation to succeed. If you to then just try and do everything possible, so that then if it doesn't happen, you're not going to feel guilty about why it didn't happen, because you were like, I gave everything. But actually, if it's not aligned for you, it won't happen anyway. And you're more likely to manifest abundance and success from an abundant mindset, like not from a needy mindset. Not like that neediness is the biggest thing to repel what you want to manifest. Like, you have to be clear about what you want. Of course, work for it. Absolutely work for it. You've got to put yourself out your comfort zone. You've got to put in the work. But there's a level, like, you don't need to literally break your back trying to do it. But there's a level where you have to surrender and trust and not be so obsessed with the outcome, and know that what is meant for you is coming for you, and everything's unfolding exactly as it's supposed to. And, if you don't get what you want, if you don't get the success or growth that you want, it's probably because, well, it is because the universe has a bigger plan for you that you can't even comprehend in your mind. Hence why the vision isn't there for you, and you don't even know what the outcome is going to be, because it's working on something bigger and better for you. You're always going to get what you need. So there is no need to live in that scarcity, free, like, fear, needy vibration, and like hustle and do all that stuff, and like cause yourself health problems, mental health problems, and relationship problems, because you just can't show up as your best self when you do that. And society really, it very easily can push you into living in that way. But if you take the time to learn about energy and understand it and think about it and the law of attraction, all that stuff, it makes more sense to you, and you can really use it to your advantage.
Yeah, one thing that I absolutely live by, which I just love, is work smart, not hard. Like, I think
Mm.
that just tops it all off, because I honestly don't think, like, hard work or doing something that you don't want to do, I don't think it's ever worth doing. Like, if I honestly have like a huge resistance towards doing something, I just won't do it, because I just think life is too short. Like, I don't want to spend my life doing things that I don't want to do. And I think
Mm.
when you think work smart, not hard, it just brings you back to the thought of, like, obviously, yes, work hard, but when I say work smart, I mean put yourself in the right places, like manifest the right things, align your energy. That's working smart. Or like leaving a job to go to another job that you know that your skills are more applicable and you can actually make more money. It's like being smart tops it all. You don't have to work that hard if you work smart. I just love it.
Yeah. And I think when people hear you say about that resistance thing, I think there's a line with resistance. There's a line where you're resisting something because it's not aligned with you, and it's not meant for you, and you actually truly don't want it. And then there's resistance where you're just blocking yourself, like maybe it's self-sabotaging resistance. It's because you're fearing you're not good enough to do this, or whatever it is you're trying to do. So you've got to have like self-awareness to know where you're landing on that spectrum, whether it's resistance because you really just don't want to, like it's just not for you, and it's not right, or if it's resistance because you're afraid that you don't have the skill set to follow it through, or that you're going to fail, or that it's not, you're scared of your own success. Even like there's a level of resistance. So don't, like, if you immediately feel resistance to things, you've got to ask yourself, where's this resistance coming from? Because if it is coming from that you're just resisting it yourself or standing in your own way because of like self-sabotaging, that's when you have to work with yourself to just move through it. Because your purpose, you can still have a clear purpose and passion and want to do something and still feel resistance towards it if it's coming from that place where you're just self-sabotaging and standing your own way. But yeah, then there's obviously the resistance you're talking about, which is
Yeah, I'm talking about the sense of
things that
like,
you don't want to do. Yeah.
yeah, like literally things that aren't aligned with you that you don't
Mm,
want to do. But yeah,
yeah.
that's the thing where we're always saying awareness is key, because I have to have the
Mm,
awareness to know, like, why do I not want to do that? Like you just said, do I not want to do it because I'm self-sabotaging, or do I not want to do it because I know that I've connected with my inner knowing and I know that's not in alignment, and that's why I don't want to do it? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
so much reflection going on right now.
Yeah, but self-awareness is so important. Without awareness, like you can't heal anything. You stand in your way in ways you're not even aware of. So it is important to, like, when you feel that feeling, to ask yourself and then identify where it's come from. Because I felt resistance to do something that I've always wanted to do just because I was scared. Like, and it was just self-sabotaging, and you just have, and I had to just make myself do it and push through it. It doesn't happen like overnight. It might actually take you quite a while to push through that resistance, but you need to just do that anyway. Like, but obviously then if you're just pushing through resistance of something that is just not aligned with you and not meant for you, then you will know that if you are willing to be aware enough to ask yourself the questions.
Yes, and that's why you need to know your meaning of life, so then you can differentiate between the two. And now we're just on a full 360.
Yeah. So I feel like that was a hell of a lot of juice and a hell of a lot to think about, and quite a long episode. So I hope you guys are still here and present. If you've made it this far, well done. And maybe you've made some notes, because I felt there's a lot of good life advice in that. But we're just going to wrap up the episode with the quote of the week from the queen of life advice, the woman we should all listen to, the one who knows it all, Oprah Winfrey. So she says, "When you pay attention to what feeds your energy, you move in the direction of the life for which you were intended. Trust that the universe has a bigger, wider, deeper dream for you than you could ever imagine for yourself."
I love that. It's such a great quote.
Yes, perfect quote. So follow what lights you up, follow your passion, and that will lead you through to live out your purpose. Follow what you like in life. Do what lights you up, even if it's scary. It's worth it, because that you are then gonna be guided to experience the bigger, wider, deeper dream of that the universe has for you, as Oprah just said. So thanks for joining us today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I really like speaking about this. It's something that I like ponder about all the time, so it's nice to have a big discussion about it. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed airing it all too, because I feel like it's something we all ponder on a lot. So I
Yeah.
hope, well, actually, I know you've all got lots of value from this episode, because we went down many different avenues.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode, everyone. Do not forget, over on our website, we have the webinar tickets, but we also have a range of meditations and affirmations. The meditations we have planned carefully, picking up all our favorite meditation techniques that we've used throughout the years, with some really relaxing, lovely music. And there's also like different topics for each thing. So you can do like manifesting, still the mind, anxiety relief. And then we also have affirmations, which are similar. They kind of like focus on different areas of your life. And then also our favorite, the personalized affirmation. So if you want to really manifest something, or you want to work on some limiting beliefs, we will make a personalized affirmation playlist for you with our own voices. We plan them all carefully, and then you can just listen to it whenever you want and really rewire those subconscious thoughts.
Yeah, I love listening to affirmations. I like just stick the affirmation playlist on, like whilst I'm journaling and stuff in the morning, and like writing what I'm grateful for and all things like that. And they're just a really nice thing. Just always when I'm putting on my makeup, just have it on like passively in the background, because you do sink it all in, like, and absorb it all. So they're very, very powerful, and they're very relaxing to listen to as well. So yeah, link in the show notes to get those. But if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you know what to do. Hit subscribe and scroll down and leave us a review for your chance to be featured in Review of the Week next week. If you're listening on Spotify, hit follow so you never miss an episode. We release them every single Wednesday and on a Sunday as well now. We're doing 2 episodes a week at the minute. So every Wednesday and on a Sunday, you get a little mini solo episode with one of us giving you some food for thought. So how exciting. 2 episodes a week from us at the minute. And come and join our community on Instagram at Finding Your Feet Podcast. That's where we are every single day, other than Wednesday and Sunday. You can still chat to us and connect to us on there. We're always there posting fun things, having fun on Instagram. So come and join our community over there at Finding Your Feet Podcast.
Yeah, and we also have a Monday morning mailing list where we basically give you a little burst of inspiration on a Monday morning, and everyone literally loves it. It's like a little insight, I think, into our souls and what we've been thinking about that week. We put in a nice
Yeah,
little
yeah, it
email.
literally is.
Yeah, it's so different than the stuff that comes on the Instagram. It's like it is like a little download from the soul, and I think that's why people love it. So if you are
Yeah.
interested, you can go and sign up. There is a link in our bio.
Yes. But thank you for listening, everybody. And hopefully we'll see you at the self-love webinar if you want to come and join us that special evening. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you next Wednesday or Sunday.
Bye.